Hey guys! In today's video, I'm going to walk you through ClickUp Setup for a new site and show you all of the steps that I take to get my views in order, as well as set up automations so that my blogging process runs smoothly. Hi, my name's April, and at Bloggers on the Rise, I show you the tips, tricks, and tools that I've used to grow 2 blogs to over 100,000 page views per month. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and be sure to click the bell to get notifications every time I release new videos. So ClickUp, as I've mentioned in previous videos, is the platform that I use to manage all of my content. It's where I work daily, as well as where my VAs and writers find the assignments that I've given them. Setting it up can be a little bit intimidating at first, so I'm going to walk you through the setup for a new site inside of ClickUp so you can see step by step what I do. Keep in mind that you can tweak this to meet your needs. You may have a little bit of a different workflow, and that's the great thing about ClickUp is that it is fully customizable. So that being said, let's get started. So inside of ClickUp, what I typically do, you have a workspace, which is the overarching level, and then you have spaces, which are these larger segments. And then within spaces, you have folders. And within folders, you have lists. And so for each new site, I'll create a folder. Now I do have this folder style templated, so when I create a new folder, it creates all of these lists for me. Once you set up a folder structure with the list that you like, you can easily make a template by just going to Save as Template. So in this folder, there are several different lists. Let me walk you through what each of these is. Keyword ideas is where I store keyword ideas. So this view isn't very helpful when looking at keywords though. So I've created a view that is more helpful. I'll go to templates and load this template. Right now it's not showing anything because I don't have any keywords. So let's go ahead and add a task. Okay, so here you can see the date updated, the volume, the post type, the competition, and the assignee. Right now there wouldn't be any assignee, but I can look at the volume using a tool like SEMrush or Keywords Everywhere and fill that in. And then I choose a post type. And typically that's going to be a response post, staple post, pillar post, or money post. You can configure a list of options that best fit your needs. Once I fill in the post type, I'll set the competition. And I've set different labels depending on what type of competition I gauge it to be. This is basically like when I look at this article in Google, how hard is it going to beat the other sites that are already there? None would be mostly forum results, meaning nobody's provided a direct answer to this keyword before. And then that goes everywhere from very low to very high. And then Pinterest is something that is very high competition, but that I think would do well if I create good pins for it on Pinterest. So then when I have multiple keywords in a list, I can easily go through and sort by competition, post type, volume, etc. Let me show you what that looks like in one that has more keywords set up. If you've watched previous videos, you know that I like my examples for my penguins, polar bears, and reindeers blog. So let's take a look at what a sample keyword list might look like for that. Keep in mind, all of this data is bogus. It's just here to show you an example of the sorting features available in ClickUp. So here we can see that there's, in my keyword research folder for the sample blog, there's a ton of keywords, and I filled in sample volume, and I could go through and fill in post type too, and I just haven't done that for all of them. ClickUp will let you do it all at once if you know what they should be by just using the multi-select tool and then coming in and selecting the right type. Okay. Let me go ahead and dismiss this. One of my favorite things to do is to come in and group by the custom field. And I want to group by competition. This will show me all of the posts with none, and then go to very low, medium, and high. And then there's a ton of posts that I haven't evaluated yet. But since I haven't evaluated them, I'm not going to write them. At least not right now. So then I can see the 5 keywords that have the most likelihood that I'll rank for it. What I can do now is sort on volume, high to low. And while I don't ever use volume as like the holy grail, I've had 0 volume posts bring in thousands of page views per month, and I've had a 1200 volume post bring in 100,000 page views in a month. Typically, I look at the volume as a minimum number, and so I'm still going to choose the higher minimum number. So if I was going to write 1 post today or add 1 post for my writers to write today, I would add this one. But then if I'm going to add 5, I would just add all of these 5 and then kind of work in that order. So that's how I approach deciding which keywords to send to my writers or to write myself. So let's get back to our new site that we're working on. So over here, I don't have any keyword ideas in here because I've moved them all over into this folder. This folder I can now share with others by typing in their name. ClickUp allows you a certain number of guests for free. They do have a free plan and a paid plan. I'm on the paid plan, but even with the free plan, you can add in people as a guest. Once I add them in as a guest, they'll be able to see all of the available topics. The way that I work it with my writers is that they can go in and see the topics. And let me actually apply the template here. I have a separate template for them that's available post. And this tells them when they come in, they'll be able to see what post format it is, as well as the post length. Now keep in mind, there's a word count field here, but it's not filled in. That's because they haven't written the article yet. So what they'll do is they'll go and assign it to themselves. They'll put in a due date, which is whatever date they think that they're going to be able to turn the article in. And then they'll change the status on the post to in progress. That pulls it off of the available list so no other writers try to grab it. So at this stage, the writer's going to go ahead and write the post in whatever application they're most familiar with. I do ask that my writers turn in the articles in either a Word doc or a Google Doc format. In fact, going forward, I may just ask for Google Doc format because it's a lot easier than sitting there and waiting for Word to open. But that's another problem for another day. So let's go through the next steps, from the writer turning in the article, getting paid, and then finally walking the post through all of the steps that are necessary until it finally gets published. Once the writer's finished with the article, they're going to come back into ClickUp, and here they can set the word count. They can do this from 2 places. They can do it right on their dashboard if they have it configured the way that I do, or they can go into the post and set it here in the word count field. They'll also attach their article if they wrote it in Microsoft Word by using the Browse button or just dragging and dropping the article over onto this left-hand side panel. And then the next thing that they need to do is set the status to needs payment. Now watch carefully. Right now there's no flag and I'm assigned. Normally the writer would be assigned, so this step would be a little bit differently. But when they set it to needs payment, what it does is it assigns the article to me and then adds an urgent priority flag. This lets me know that the article needs payment. When I log into my dashboard, I can see all of the articles that needs payment. Let me show you that. So on this dashboard, you can see I have 2 articles that need payment, the one that I just wrote, and then the one from this author here. When my normal writers are writing the articles, it does have their names, so I know which writer needs to be paid. So let's go back to that task. Once I pay for the article, I can go ahead and set the status to for review. At that point, what it's going to do is change the assignee to my VA and remove the flag. Now he's going to take that article and he's going to get it all properly formatted and into WordPress for me. Once he's done that, he's going to add the URL here for the post. That will take me directly to the edit window when I go to do my editing. Once that's all finished, he'll change the status to ready to edit. Now at this stage, if I had an editor, I would have the system automatically assign it to the editor. But for right now, it's me doing all of the editing, So the system has automatically assigned it to me. Once I'm done editing, it goes to ready for pictures, which tags my VA in it and unassigns me so that he can add photos to the post. When he's done, he's going to run some final checks, add the pictures, set the featured image, make sure the meta description's there, which should have been done in a previous step, and then he's going to set it to ready to publish. This point, once again, I'm tagged in the article, and I'll go through the article, make sure everything looks good, make sure the pictures relate to the article, do one final check on the editing, and then I'll decide to either schedule the article or go ahead and publish it right then. Once that's done, I'll set the article to published, and at this point, my VA gets assigned and this task is closed. However, a new task has been created, a copy of this one, in the needs pins list. We go over there and we can see that this article has now come up for needing pins, and my VA is assigned, so he'll know that this is an article that he needs to create pins for. All of this happens automatically using the automations feature in ClickUp, which is really nice. So that's available on each list view. And then you can see how that's kind of configured. It's an if-then type of setup. So when status changes to needs payment, then add me and change the priority to urgent. And then likewise, we can go in and look at this one. When the status changes from any to for review or ready for pictures, then remove me. And in the case that I had writers in this space, I would have it remove any of the writers and reassign to the VA. And also change the priority to clear, which just means clear the priority flag. And that goes on then to when the status changes to ready to edit or ready to publish, remove the VA and assign to me. And when the status changes to published, copy the task to needs pins and add the VA as an assignee. So a lot of this gets taken care of by the automations that are built in within ClickUp, which makes it really nice. I hope this video has been able to give you some insight into how I manage my content writers via ClickUp. What I showed you today was just one site, but I repeat the same process for multiple sites, and the system works pretty efficiently. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get notifications every time I post a new video.